Hello, people of Facebook and the world, wherever you're tuning in. It's Chris Angel coming at you with another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. If this is your first time tuning into this show, know that what we believe or who we are, the rest of us are people who don't want to chase algorithms. We want to have marketing, but we don't want to chase algorithms. We don't really care about SEO. We just want to make an impact with real people because we are people. We are people who want to make an impact, have influence, and we don't have time for all this nonsense of of SEO and algorithm stuff. And when we do figure it out, they change it on us. So we just want to know, how do we market from a place of making real impact and connection? So in this episode, let's talk about where the intersection where your why really lives. Just got off an interview with a client today. Shout out to James Adair in Portland. He's a mortgage guy in Portland. And his show is called The Equity Accelerator. You can check out his show on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. But I want to unpack the why because so many people have been confused by, they're inspired by the why, but they're confused when they actually come to writing their own or finding their own why. So let's just spend a little time together unpacking the why. Now, let me first say this. I don't really care if you ever turn your why into a why statement. What I mostly care about in the why conversation is that you can at least identify with what motivates and drives you. That to me is the why, and I don't care if it actually turns itself into a statement for you in the public or not. What I do care is that you're connected to it. Because if you're not connected to your why, then what happens, what life looks like, disconnected from your why is you try a lot of things, nothing really fits. You get shiny object syndrome, you get bored easily, you spend a lot of money investing in things that never pan out. You just kind of float through life without a sense of direction or purpose. And for most of us, that's not only spiritually unnerving, right? That's very, we don't want to move through life not knowing who we are, but in the space of not knowing your why, it feels that way. You're like, listen, it's like this for me. It's been like, I know that I'm made for more. I know that I'm made for more than what I've done now. But what is that? And at least if I knew what my why was, which I know, but at least if I knew what my why was, then it doesn't matter if I don't have the results I know I'm capable of because I know that I'm on the path to those results, right? Like I'm clear. I'm clear. Without your why, life feels like you're not clear. Life feels confusing when you don't lock in your why. So let's look at this because there are some fingerprints to what a why feels like, right? Like a why statement or a sense of your why will lead you to feel in your bones that sense of purpose. You'll speak with conviction when you talk about things. In your marketing will come through the camera with conviction because you're attached to your why. Okay? And the reason I say that is because I've seen people say, oh, my why is such and such, but they're not moved by it. They're not inspired by it. They read a book and then they tried to create a why statement and you're like, no, that's not it. How do I know that's not it for you? Because I can tell that's not moving for you. That doesn't inspire you. It sure as hell doesn't inspire me. I think there's some transference. When you've really nailed your why, there's a transference of that why to someone else. Like when you say it to them, they get that you're clear that that's your why. And they get that there is something more to it than just you. Look, I think there are two kinds of whys. There's an internal why, like what drives you, and then there's your external why it matters to everybody else, right? If we actually put this in a business context, there might just be why you show up to life every day and you don't cash your chips in and be done with life. There's a why for that. And then in business, there's a why you do what you do in business professionally. And if you nail that, people can feel it over there. There's a transference of emotion over there. Okay, so this is the intersection where your why lives. Ready? The first thing is going to be some sort of problem or pain or injustice or something that's broken. And you, where you sit, From your point of view, your POV, you see that something's not working. Look, if everything's working, then there's no reason to do something, right? But when something's broken, what happens is we go, dude, I see something that needs to be fixed. And the thing that, it's not just that it's broken in like a little side project for you, but that you see the impact of that problem. So let me give you an example. In marketing, I see a lot of you, because this was me, frustrated and stuck in the world of marketing. So you're in business. Your business might be primarily word of mouth and referral, but that's not giving you consistent income. It's not giving you predictable results. I mean, you like the referrals. That's easy business, but for you to go where you want to go in life, you need more resources faster. You need something quicker. You need predictable income that gives you a base, and then you need a way to predictably grow. And without that, you're stuck. Like, your brain keeps evolving in vision, but your finances don't. So you don't know how to get there. And then you start to feel stuck and you start to feel behind. Like, you start to count the years. You're like, dude, listen, I'm 43 right now. And I'm like, I should have been here by 33. And I'm 43. And you start to see the years click down and down and down. Right? So that's what happens. But when you figure out what the problem is and you attach it to the pain, I see that for marketing, for a lot of you, you're stuck. And you don't have to be stuck. What I realized was that a lot of us have been sold a lie. The lie is that it matters what algorithms do. It matters that you have SEO. It matters that you post 5 to 7 times a day. That is a very compelling story that's easy to buy into, and it's a lie. Or maybe it's not a lie, but it's only one story. It's only one version. But we all bought in like it's the absolute truth, and it's not. So can you hear in my voice that as I start to find my why in the space of a problem and the pain it's causing for you and caused for me, that this is the foundation of you having something that matters out there to somebody else. They don't care if it doesn't address a problem. Your why has to address somebody's problem, and not just from a mechanical standpoint, but from an emotional place. So that is the first road of our intersection, is that you've figured out the pain and the problem, and not just the problem, but how that's painful for people. Guys, it is painful when you don't know how to predictably create more revenue or predictably create growth in your business and your life, because your vision has already gone there, but your financial situation and your place in life hasn't. That is painful on many places. It's painful in your business. It's painful in your soul because you feel like you should be further. You start to doubt yourself, question yourself. Am I really cut out for this? Can I really do this? How long do I have to keep doing this before I actually break through? Listen, for me, I got so attached to fixing the problem, solving the problem, that I started to disengage from my family. I put a good face on. Hey, it's me. Like, I'm a pretty happy guy. Like, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky, like, I'll put a good face on for you. And then when I'm left to my own thoughts, I'm like, dude, how am I not further than where I am? And so I don't hang out with the family as much, and I start going and I read more books and I listen to more podcasts and I journal more and I do all the things to try to fix the problem, and all the while my family gets the short end of that stick. Do you see? And then in the middle of trying to figure that out, I'm so emotionally involved in that I stop paying attention to my health. I'll spend money on lattes and junk food because I feel empowered to spend money when I don't actually have the money to be buying those things. I'm telling you my story right now. That's not where I'm at right now. I'm telling you where I've been, all right? I'm telling you this pain spills into other areas of your life. This is why the why matters, right? The why matters because you get that there's a real impact. A why has no power if there's no impact attached. If you're like, why do you do this? Well, I do it because it's fun. I do it because it makes the world a better place. But if you can't tell me how it makes, like what's wrong with the world and why it makes the world a better place, then I don't believe you. So the first intersection here in finding your why is you've got to find the problem that you alone can see and that you alone want to fix, and the pain that people experience because of that problem. Okay, here's the next one. The next piece of this then is on the other side of what the problem is and the pain, there is something else available. There is a different reality that's possible. And you have to see that, because if you don't see it, you can't tell us about it. You can't cast vision for us about it, right? So the next piece of you having this why is you've got to attach it to something bigger that calls us into our own power, that empowers us. Because if there's no vision, then all we're left with is the problem, and we start to lose heart. And when you figure out what's available on the other side of it all, then what happens is you get even more fire for your why, because you're like, you don't have to live this way with marketing. Marketing doesn't have to be, this is me saying it to you from the place of marketing. Marketing doesn't have to be feel defeating. You could actually make magical connections with people on your terms, not the terms of the social platforms or the SEO gods. You could actually make a massive impact the way you want to make it on your terms through social media, but again, on your terms, because you're being authentic and you're connecting with real people about real things. In your marketing, you could actually have more business than you could handle. You could actually have the best kind of leads that come into relationship with you, not challenging your authority, but looking for your leadership. This is what's possible when you do marketing the right way. So do you see, like, I'm actually giving you a vision of what marketing could be for the rest of us. And it's in contrast to how it is for most of us right now. So that is the next piece of that why, is you go, okay, here's the problem, the pain, here's what's available, here's what's possible, and what magic that creates. And then, here, let's do this. My daughter's coming home, so we're going to take this conversation upstairs for a minute so that she can come in and meet the dog, and we don't have to get, we don't have to like interrupt their reunion, their reunion from there. Okay, so hang out with me for a second. So here, because there's one more piece to this. There's one more piece to what is required in finding this why. Okay, let's turn some light on. Here we get a little background light. Okay, so the last piece of this intersection then is once you have pinpointed the pain, the problem of the pain, and you've cast vision for what's possible, what happens is people start to ask the question like, well, how is that possible? So you go, Chris, how do I do it? Like, yes, I relate to the thing about marketing, and it feels frustrating, and I hate this, the Facebook always changes their platform or their algorithm, and I hate that I have to do SEO stuff and I don't really get it, and there's all the pain. And then you go, but that's so awesome. I would love the idea of having consistent income and leads and clients who love working with me and take my leadership and follow where I want to take them and trust me inherently. But how do I do that? So do you see, like, in the why, when you frame it right, what opens up for people is this question called how. And inside of your why, there has to be a how. And your how is going to be in alignment with your why. So in other words, if I was like, if it's not in alignment, it doesn't work, right? Your how has to be in alignment with the why. Otherwise, you're just trying to create some story that actually isn't what you do, right? So for example, in the marketing example, if I were to say to you everything I said about pain and what's possible, and then I said, okay guys, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to post 5 to 7 times a day, and we're going to like do all the SEO tricks. Now my plan is not in alignment with what I just told you. I just told you don't have to do those things. And if my solution or my path to what's possible is then not in alignment with what I just told you, then it doesn't work. Like, your why is not believable. So your plan, your path, your how to do it has to be in alignment with why you do it. So, for example, for us in our marketing agency, what we do is we interview you and we turn that into a show, and we put that show on your YouTube channel, your Facebook page. We write a blog post about it. We create an email for you to send to your database. We'll even create micro content where we find quotes from what you said in the 20 to 30 minute interview. We'll create 60-second video clips off of what you did because of when you said something brilliant. And what's great about all of that is that inside of the interview, when you're asked questions about the things you love, your passion comes through the camera. And for most of you, direct to like if you're just going to turn your phone on like we're doing right now, most people aren't comfortable in that format. And so the energy that comes through the camera when you do that is an energy of uncertainty, lack of confidence. You stumble over your words. You're not even exactly sure where you want to go in the conversation. Right? Like, and so not willing to do the algorithms and the SEO thing, but also stuck not knowing how to create authentic video content, knowing that you have to be visible for people in marketing. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with, unpredictable word of mouth and referral business. Okay. Well, this was the path I saw. I saw this path of like, every human is brilliant and every human has something they're fired up about. And if we could just capture that in a conversation, the world would believe you. The world would follow you. The world would take up their take up their cross. I don't know why I said that. They would pick up whatever they have and they would follow you to wherever you want to lead them, because when we as humans are turned on for the things that matter most, we come alive and people believe us. And that's what's required in marketing. And so that's the path I built for marketing through our marketing agency, which was, and even inside of my coaching stuff. Because when people come to me in coaching, they come to me confused. I don't get any of this stuff. How do I do this? I just know what I'm good at. I know how I help people, but I don't know how to get the word out any further than what I have. And so I feel stuck going to networking meetings and going to coffee appointments and taking people to lunch right? And so they don't know how to affect change. They don't know how to be consistent and prolific in their presence out in the world in a way that feels authentic. So you can see that attached to your why, there has to be a path. There has to be a how for the people who buy into your why. But if you start with the how, gang, if you start with the how and you don't actually develop the why, then it's just a commodity. If I just said, hey guys, I have a marketing agency and we create a show for you and blah, 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 you don't actually get that I get you, and you don't actually get that, you're not emotionally connected to me in the way I do it. So now you're just shopping other social media managers and other marketing companies and agencies and whatever. But if you feel like I get you, right, that's the power of a why, because you're like, no, you get me. And so in your business, here's the deal. In your business, you have to find the why. You have to find the why. And it's at the intersection of what's broken, what doesn't work, a problem, and that problem has pains attached to it. On the flip side of that, there is a direct correlation or direct implication for what's possible. This is where it sucks, but this is what's possible. And then once you find that, then it's all about just getting into the path of that. How do I take them from here to there in alignment with what I just said, the problem and the possibility I just saw. Okay. I would love to know your feedback. I want to know, like, did what I just say make sense? Right? Do you have more questions about it? And if you do, throw them in the comments so I can circle back and make sure that you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay? All right. Thanks for hanging out with me today for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. I will see you tomorrow. And until then, go work on this. Go work on your why. Go work on this intersection. Okay? See ya.